Hey YouTube, Rob here, doing another video for you, as you can see, because you're watching it. I decided to do a bit of a vlog, I suppose, while I'm out and about doing some stuff. I've just been to vote. In Australia we just had this election, and I hate elections. Really annoying, because you've got to go out and get out of your nice warm comfortable bed and go and vote. And I'm sick of all the bloody advertising on TV and in newspapers and signs everywhere and stuff like that. Especially when there was a thing here recently where I live. This guy had a raspberry farm, and he put up this sign along the highway saying, obviously, saying when they're open, and with a raspberry farm here, come and see us. And I think the council made them take it down because they reckon that it was a distraction for people that were driving along the highway, which is pretty much a load of bullshit. But yet, the politicians and the government are allowed to put up all these bloody, election signs all over the place along the highway and wherever they feel like it. So I just don't see how that's really, fair. It's one rule for, one person and different rules for other people. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I've went and voted, and had to spell my name out, because I've got a difficult spelling in my name, in my last name. That's sort of one round I had today, but it's over though. So I'm actually on my way to see my auntie, because she's having problems with her computer at the moment. She's running very slow, and so I'm going to go over there now and have a bit of a look at that. That's sort of what I'm doing this morning. It's raining too, which is not particularly good. One of my days off and it's bloody raining. It can be fine all week, and then it's raining. So that's what I'm doing today. So that's about a half an hour drive away. So I thought it was get the camera out and make a video. So yeah, it's been a few things have been pissing me off recently, actually. I know this is a bit of a cliche thing to say, but like, YouTube and Facebook even recently have been changing their website around and making things more difficult to use, which is a lot of people would complain of that. I'm just not the, I'm not the only one. I've noticed now on YouTube that you've, when you go to someone's channel and click on the videos, it's like it'll give you like a list of probably 6 or something, and then you've got to click on an arrow to get to the next 6, and then if you want to go further back, you've got to click on things like a more button. So if you click on that, then that sort of brings you to a different page, and then you've got to go from the start again. You've got to go back to list all the videos. You can just scroll back down to where you were. So I don't see how that's better. I can't understand why you just can't click more, and then that will sort of show you the next lot that you want to look at. So then we go back to the start again of the first videos. I don't know. And same with Facebook too. They've changed that around as well. So now the home button and the notifications are actually sort of separate now, whereas they're all sort of on the left-hand side. So you can sort of click on both of those very easily. But I don't see how that's any better either. Because I don't necessarily post a lot on Facebook, but I do sort of hit the home button a lot and refresh the page and sort of see what people are talking about. So now I've got to click on the left-hand side to go to the home page to refresh it. And now I've got to go all the way to the right-hand side every time I get a notification, so I can sort of read that and sort of see what that's about. I can't understand why they moved that. It should have been they both together on the left-hand side, so it's easy to get to. So I don't know. It's probably a small thing to bitch about, but the idea is you're supposed to be making these websites better, aren't you? You're supposed to be making them easy to use and more functional. Every time YouTube or Facebook, whoever, just make them harder to use, in my opinion. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, the point of, I shouldn't have to be looking up help, in Facebook help or Facebook YouTube, to find out how to do something simple. I mean, the whole point, it should be set out and designed so you can just sort of, run with it. You can just sort of, work it out in a matter of a few seconds, continue on to, what you want to do, instead of just sort of stop and do a search in help or Google search and try and work out how to change your password or something similar to that. I mean, every time I try to do that on some, I'm pretty sure it was YouTube and a few other places, I'd actually Google to try and find out how to change the password, which is just ridiculous. It should be just simply laid out and easy to find. I don't know. But I've sort of found ever since, YouTube's set up this Google Plus thing, it's just made things just really hard to use, and, everything's sort of linked together, and, you can't sort of find anything that you're trying to find. And I had a, I do actually have another YouTube page which I never sort of use, which was linked to a Gmail address which I haven't sort of used for quite a long time. So I think I tried to log into that email, I think, and I couldn't. So I changed the password, but because of the way that because you've got the Google Plus, it won't let you. You can do a reset the password, but that also will send you to the old email address, to my old email, which I don't use anymore, and I can't refresh that because in order to get access to the account, I need to have that email account linked to a Google Plus account or something. I don't know. It blows my mind. I just can't get my head around that sort of stuff. So in the end, I just sort of gave up on that. I'll try to explain it. I doubt I've made any sense there, because I don't understand how email's going to be linked to your Google Plus account, which is then linked to your YouTube account. And it's like, what? I don't know. Like, I think, I consider myself a fairly cluey on, tech things. I'm not a complete idiot, but I don't know. I can't say they're going to link everything together, and I don't know. It's just an absolute pain in the ass. I can't work it out. I was thinking the other day, though. This is a bit of a totally random thought. But if you watch the show Family Guy, I'm sure everyone's sort of seen the show Family Guy. And you got Brian the dog, which is obviously a dog, obviously. I think it's sort of interesting that Brian the dog goes out with all these women, and it's like, when you think about it, isn't that illegal? I'm sure in most places of the world, humans and animals, getting together. You know what I mean? I thought that was an interesting sort of thought. Something you wouldn't necessarily think about. Anyway. So I don't know, I've been sort of thinking lately about perhaps taking a bit of a break from YouTube. Actually, I'm sort of getting a little bit, I'm not necessarily sick of YouTube, I suppose. I'm just sort of, at the moment, I sort of find it really hard to keep myself motivated to make videos sometimes. I've got, some really good ideas, I think. Just going here doing. So I've got some ideas of what I want to make. I'm just having a really hard time just trying to find motivation to, sort of make videos. I mean, sometimes it takes me all day, I think, to, make a video. Because I usually sort of sleep in a bit, and then I've got to sort of, I sort of get up and watch a few YouTube videos, and then I've got to perhaps do a bit of research on, what I want to talk about. So especially when I'm talking about a film or something, I usually try and do a bit of research on the film and work out what I'm going to say, and then sort of sit down and I usually do like a first sort of run through. I sort of talk to the camera and first take, I suppose. And that's usually not all that great because I sort of miss out things. And, it's a bit sort of random thoughts. So I usually do another take, and then and the second take's not all that good. Then I usually have to go back, and if I try and do a third take, it just doesn't work because I'm sort of, I find I've got it in my head what I want to say, but it's just a matter of sort of getting it out. And sometimes I talk a bit too fast, so I sort of, get sort of mixed up. And, sometimes I just, just delete the video, and then I'll just sort of come back the next day and try to do the video. Anyway, and another thing too, we had that recent. Well, some people might have heard about. I don't want to perhaps go into too much detail about it because the main thing is I don't know all that much about it. Same as a lot of these things you sort of hear about, wherever on YouTube or in the news, or you only sort of go by, what's been reported in the news, and sometimes that's not necessarily all that accurate. People sort of read news stories and then they think they're an expert on the subject. Sort of thing. Very sort of judgmental on these sort of issues. like, you know, I don't want to go into too much detail, but there is that sort of thing about with was it Matt 87 rider or something? I mean, yeah, listen, I don't know anything about it or, you know, what's going on exactly with that, but, you know, it's just, well, perhaps like remind people not necessarily to believe everything that you sort of, you know, read or hear about, you know, certain YouTubers or whatever, or even in the news or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that whatever this thing's not true about Matt, but, you know, because I wouldn't know. I mean, as far as I know, it's probably based on some sort of truth about, you know, the sort of things that he has been doing. But, you know, I've been on YouTube long enough to realise that, you know, some people do sort of jump to conclusions, and, you know, there have been cases where, you know, one YouTuber's made a video about another YouTuber and saying about these things that they've done to them, and, you know, well, you know, people sort of jump on the bandwagon, you know, and say, oh, and then sort of attack the other person, saying, you know, why'd you do this, rah, and, you know, they're only sort of hearing one side of the story, you know, and, you know, there have been cases where, you know, the original person that made that video was actually in the wrong, you know, so this, you know, this innocent person sort of been giving all this hate for nothing, when, you know, when they've done sort of, you know, nothing wrong, you know, it's like, I understand people are sort of, you know, trying to protect their friends on YouTube and sort of sticking up for people, but you've got to, you know, even if he's your best friend on YouTube, you've still got to be, you know, be a bit wary and a bit sort of, you sort of get the information firsthand. You can't sort of just take for gospel what, you know, certain people say, you know, about other YouTubers. So that's just, I don't know, that's just my piece of advice. You know, just first of all, just, you know, if you don't know anything about it, you know, try and learn a bit more about it before you sort of pass judgment on it. Sort of take everything that people say as a, you know, with a bit of grain of salt, you know, don't necessarily believe everything that people sort of say. So, what a terrible day. Awful day, pouring with rain. It's probably, I don't know, I'm sure you can hear it, but terrible. You know, and also people sort of talk about on the news about, you know, someone, like a, you know, a pedophile or a murderer or someone goes to, you know, gets convicted, and, you know, they have those words and they say, well, you know, we can't name the person for legal reasons, and, you know, people get, you know, get pretty annoyed with that, you know, say, well, you know, why can't you name them, shame them, and, you know, why can't you sort of name and shame them, you know, type thing, and, you know, which I suppose is a fair statement, but I mean, you know, well, I don't think it's, I mean, I'm not an expert or anything, but, you know, there are sort of reasons why we don't sort of do that in the media, because, you know, say it's like John Smith, you know, has murdered some little boy or something, you know what I mean, like, there's more than one John Smith in the world, so you can't just sort of say, oh, you know, John Smith's done this, you know, because then every John Smith in the world is basically going to be, you know, suspicious of, you know, killing a little boy, you know what I mean, people are going to, oh, you know, I know a John Smith, and they're going to, you know, attack that John Smith, aren't they? Because they think that, you know, he's the murderer, you know. That's sort of one reason. Another reason too is also the family of the, you know, of that person too. I mean, of that criminal. I mean, you know, the mother and father, and, you know, and their kids too. I mean, you know, they're going to get all this sort of hate, you know, directed, you know, towards the mother and father, and, you know, the person's kids, and, you know, when they're innocent people, they haven't done anything. They weren't the ones that, you know, murdered someone, you know what I mean? So that's, you know, that's sort of reasons why they don't sort of name and shame people in public. I mean, it's, you know, I'm not saying that's right or anything, but I think that is one of the reasons, or a couple of the reasons why, you know, we don't sort of go around in the media sort of naming people, because, you know, it can, can direct, you know, negative towards other people that haven't done anything, you know. Anyway, I think I might leave it there. Might perhaps just try and do a bit of movie hunting, I suppose, while I'm over here. So yeah, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I'm back home now from my little trip out. I did have a look at my owner's computer, and couldn't necessarily see anything sort of majorly wrong with it. It is a pretty old machine, it's an old sort of XP, and so I think it's only got, you know, 1 gig of RAM in it or something. So it was, yeah, it's going to be a fairly slow computer anyway. But I did sort of run a few sort of virus checkers on it, and deleted a few things, and deleted some of the, you know, some of the programs that are on there. She didn't sort of need some of those, and did a few small things. Hopefully that should, you know, help out a little bit. It's also sort of stuck. It doesn't seem to want to update to Windows Service Pack 3 like some of the Windows updates. Doesn't seem to want to install some of them for some reason. I'm not quite sure why that is, but anyway. Yeah, so I did a few things though, so hopefully that should make it a little bit better for her. Anyway, so I did that, and then I also did some movie shopping and picked up a few movies. So I did sort of raid the $5 bin, and I've got a few titles here. So I'll show you what I got. I picked up Marathon Man with Dustin Hoffman. Don't know not too sure what this film is about exactly, but you know, I don't mind about Dustin Hoffman. He's a good actor. So Marathon Man. I picked up one called Traffic, which I think is actually like a documentary, I think, which I think did sort of inspire. There's a movie starring Michael Douglas, I think. I think this is sort of a documentary that sort of inspired it or something. I'm just sort of reading what it says on the back. So it's all about sort of the cocaine trade, I think. So I'm sure that'll be a good watch. Another Dustin Hoffman movie, the original Store Dogs, which I've never sort of seen before. I think it is a bit like I Spit on Your Grave, I think. So from what I understand anyway, it's very sort of similar type movie, I think. So that's that one. Bit of a 80s classic, I guess, which I've never sort of seen before. License to Drive with the two Coreys, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. I've seen the Flick Pick, John the Flick Pick, sort of talking about this one. He said it's supposed to be a good sort of fun watch, so I might give that a watch at some point, see what it's all about. One he called All or Nothing, which is just a random one which I just sort of picked up. It's got Timothy Spall on it, which, you know, I was always a bit of a fan of him. I think he's a great sort of British actor. I think it's sort of set in London, in a crowded South London apartment building. Penny is a working mum struggling to keep her dejected daughter, her lazy son, and her disillusioned partner on the right path. But when tragedy befalls one of her loved ones, she finds that support comes from an unexpected place. So, yeah, so I don't know, it just sort of sounded interesting, and that's sort of start, you know, Timothy Spall, so can't be too bad. Put this one up, sort of series of Dick Turpin from the 70s. It stars Richard O'Sullivan, though. He was in one of my favourite shows, Mad About the House from the 1970s. So that's pretty much the only reason I sort of picked it up. I think this is series 2. I didn't actually realise that it's actually. I thought this might have been like a mini series type thing, and but I didn't sort of realise it was actually series 2. But anyway, I'm sure it'll still be a good watch. So that's that one. The next one I got here is called Sorrow of the Pity. It's like a French sort of film, I think, black and white. I just sort of read on the back that, let's say, it said, from the moment it was first released at a tiny left-bank theatre in Paris, this epic account of France under the occupation of the Nazi regime during World War II has become acclaimed as one of the most moving and influential films of all time. So, I couldn't sort of... just picking that up, sort of see what it's all about. I'm sure it'll be a good sort of war type, documentary type thing from what I sort of gather. So that's that one. One here, just a random one I got. It's called Steel Trap, which I think I pretty much just got because it's like R18, and I think it's just sort of about like I think it's like a big sort of skyscraper or something, and on the 27th floor or something, they're having a party, and apparently there's also a killer there as well, so sort of killing them off one by one. So just sort of, I don't know, just sound like it might be alright. A bit of a classic here, the Cannonball Run, which I've never sort of seen before, but I have sort of heard it's not a bad watch. It's got a few stars in it too. Burt Reynolds, Farrah Fawcett, Roger Moore. Yeah, so I'm sure that'll be a good watch. So that's all the DVDs I got. Also went to Sanity, which is a place in Australia where you can sort of buy movies from, movies and music and all different sort of stuff, all different sorts of things. They had like a 2 for $20 deal, so I picked up a few Blu-rays. Double pack of Contact and Sphere, which I'm sure I have sort of seen Sphere and thought it was a pretty good movie. Don't even ever seen Contact though. So yeah, so I thought that would be a good pick up. So 2 movies for, well, you know, $5 I suppose, isn't it? $5 each. Got the Expendables 2, which I haven't sort of seen since I watched it at the cinema, and which I thought was an alright movie. I think it was a little bit, perhaps a bit too much over the top for me, just a little bit. But I might give it another watch and see if I like it a bit better, perhaps. I did actually quite like the first one though. The first movie I thought was really good. This one's got a broken case on this one. Big chip out of it. Didn't notice that. Have a Hitchcock movie, North by Northwest. Big sort of chip in it, which I'm not sure if you can see that or not. I didn't sort of realise that. Classic film. I'm pretty sure I've seen it a long time ago. I haven't sort of seen it quite a while though. Yeah, so that's still to pick up, I thought. And then finally, one I've sort of been wanting to pick up for quite a while actually. I have sort of watched it a long time ago and thought it was, you know, a good film and a bit scary, I think, when I sort of watched it. It's Arachnophobia, all about about spiders. So I'm looking forward to sort of giving this one a bit of a watch. And I think it's got John Goodman in it, I think, isn't it? John Goodman, is there somewhere, I think. Jeff Daniels. Yeah. Yeah, John Goodman's in there. Yeah, so that might be a bit of a scary watch, but give it a watch. Yeah, so that's all the movies that I sort of picked up. A few good bargains there, I thought. But probably the best deal of the day, I thought, for me anyway. It's not movie related in any way, but I've been sort of wanting to pick up a new computer keyboard, because my other one was it was sort of a cheap one, sort of a cheap Chinese rip-off, I think, and some of the keys have sort of started to sort of wear off, so you can't sort of work out, you know, quite which key you're pressing sometimes. So I have sort of been on the hunt for a new keyboard, and I was sort of eyeing this one off actually online, and it's pretty much the exact same model as the one I already had. So this is probably the official proper version. It's not the, you know, the Chinese rip-off that I sort of bought because it was cheap. I actually sort of bought this from one of my local stores, and I think it's even cheaper than I could probably get it online too. So yeah, it's this one here. Nice sort of keyboard. Razer Lacoste, or I don't know how you pronounce it. Very cool keyboard. I think it says for recommended price is $118, and I got it for $65, which I thought was a really good deal. I mean, it's probably, you know, some people might say, you know, even $65 is quite expensive for a keyboard. But I mean, some of these sort of ones are actually quite expensive though. I don't think I was going to pay more than $100 for a keyboard. I mean, this is a nice deluxe, you know, backlit keyboard with a lot of sort of functions on it. So that's pretty much the only reason you know, it's a very cool keyboard. Yeah, so this is pretty much exactly the same as what I've already got, but it's probably the actual official version of it. So yeah, it's actually to get this one, because it's pretty much the model that I was sort of looking at too. I just wanted to find it for a decent price. I wasn't going to pay $118 for it, so I thought $65 was a pretty good price. So that was probably the best pickup that I think I bought today. So that's my video, my little sort of vlog and DVD pickup. Probably might be a long video, I reckon, but anyway. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope I didn't ramble on too much with my thoughts about stuff. Anyway, you can leave a comment below on anything you want, you know, the movies or, you know, some of my rambling thoughts, whatever. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll be back very soon. So, bye.